Travel Channel's Night Crawl New York, John Murray. From Oxygen's Funny Girls, which you can see Tuesdays at 11 p.m., Yamanika Saunders. CNN legal analyst Sunny Houston. And you know her from American Idol and Dancing with the Stars, country singer Kelly Pickler. Good panel. Welcome to the show. Of course. Let's get to it. I don't know about you guys, but I love David Letterman, and next week is his last week. He is leaving, I know, after 33 years in late-night television. And one of his guests last night was Howard Stern. Okay, he didn't waste it. Yeah, we love Howard. He had a few choice words for his pal on The Late Show after we found out that Howard didn't get the invite to a dinner. Take a look at this.
Don Rickles is coming on later, right? Listen to it, my hero. Dave doesn't know I know this. He invited Don to go to dinner with him after the show. You think I was invited? I wasn't invited. Terrible. Terrible. But...
And then he said to Dave, let's just kiss and make up. He tried to kiss David Letterman, was having none of it. It did not happen, but... Oh, wow. Yeah, exactly. I've had the opportunity to be on Letterman's show a few times, and I think not only is he brilliant at what he does, but he's a great interviewer, truly great, and Wonderful. He never meets you before the show, so which makes you a little bit anxious because you don't know what's going to happen, and that's what's so good about it, because you go out there and you really feel challenged by him. So I'm going to be very sorry to see him go, but I love seeing people like Stern with him because they're good buddies.
Yeah.
And he raised, I mean, that's an interesting dilemma. What do you do when you are, like, you're going to go out to dinner with somebody and you know it's going to piss off someone else if they're not invited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're all grown-ups, right? I mean, that's going to happen. It's happened to me. I've been on the receiving end of not getting an invite, and it doesn't feel great, but I also have friends that I wouldn't put on anyone. You know, I mean, there are friends that just don't mix, and Howard Stern, that's a pretty big personality. And so Howard plus Don Rickles, that's too much.
We didn't get invited either, did we?
No, I didn't.
No, I would be totally upset. I love Don Rickles, and I love David Letterman, and he's one of my crushes. No, seriously, it's something about that gap. I love him. Oh, my God, I have a crush on him, a whole bunch of other guys I shouldn't. But I would be completely upset. I would be like, why didn't you invite me? I'm amazing. Because that starts to talk about you as a person when somebody says you can't come to dinner.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it happened. Did he say, you're not allowed? You can't sit with us. What movie is that from? I'm just kidding.
Well, he did better than me because I would have just showed up, okay? Hey, I'm here.
The invite snub is how Oprah's Legends Ball started. She was going to have a 50th birthday luncheon, and she forgot to invite Cicely Tyson. So then she said, well, I'll invite Cicely Tyson to lunch. And then she ended up inviting Maya Angelou and Ruby Dee, and 70 people later, she had the Legends Ball. So that whole concept of her not inviting Cicely Tyson is how her Legends Ball came.
Weddings start with 50 invites, and then suddenly it's 200. Because then you have to invite so-and-so and so-and-so.
Anyone else and elope in the Elvis chapel.
That's exactly.
All right, I want to move on. I talked about Tom Brady's deflated balls yesterday. Today, the verdict is in. The NFL has suspended the Super Bowl MVP for the first 4 games of the next season without pay as punishment for those footballs they used in the AFC title game. The Patriots have actually been fined $1 million as well and lost 2 draft picks. Sonny, I know yesterday when we were talking about this, you wanted him out, actually, I think. But
I'm not impressed with this penalty, and that is because when you look at the history of the NFL, Roger Goodell, the commissioner, has been very soft on the players. Let's remember Ray Rice, who on video beat the crap, can I say that? Beat the crap out of his then fiancée. Initially just got 2-game suspension. And
eventually
he was indefinitely suspended. But guess what? He appealed. He's back in the league. So the bottom line is, he hasn't found a team. But bottom line is, what the NFL is telling me as a woman, 2 games for beating me, but 4 games for touching your balls. It's unbelievable. It's not enough.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, Tom Brady is fine, so he can move balls around the way he wants. That's number one. That's number one. My biggest gripe is, when one person does something, don't pull out somebody else. Let's focus on that one person and what they did.
But it's a trend. But it's a trend.
But I'm with Sonny, though, because this was a slap on the wrist. If the New England Patriots have a history of cheating, let's start there. Like, it's known fact. And beyond that, if they really wanted to get Tom Brady, they would have done this investigation before the Super Bowl, suspended him, and let the second-string quarterback play the Super Bowl, and then we would have seen what would have really happened in that final game.
Real accountability.
Hall.
Well, right now, Brady's people are saying it's circumstantial. The people who own the Patriots are saying it's circumstantial, and he is appealing it, for sure.
He won't turn over his cell phone. You know, he's probably got those naked photos in there that he doesn't want them to see.
Is there proof?
Well, there's circumstantial evidence, and I'll tell you, as a former prosecutor, I put a lot of people in jail on circumstantial evidence, okay? So the fact that people are saying, well, he probably knew, that is enough under the NFL standards. And I think you've got to send a message to cheaters. You've got to send a message that this is not okay when young people look up to Tom Brady. He's married to this beautiful woman. He gets paid $1 gazillion to play, and he has to cheat. Well, then he has to lose something valuable. 4 games, I'm sorry, he makes $1 gazillion. That's nothing. He lost 50 cents. It's nothing.
Although there are a lot of people who are arguing just the opposite, and they say that this is that they gave him too much to make
in Vegas. They don't want to lose their money. That's what that's about, Meredith.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's going to appeal, for sure. George Zimmerman is back in the news. You know him, the man acquitted by a Florida jury in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin is in the news, as I said. According to police, he was involved in a shooting incident in Lake Mary, Florida. He was not the shooter. The alleged shooter is a man named Matthew Apperson. Apparently, they've had some run-ins in the past. And, Sonny, I'm going to defer to you because you are a lawyer here.
Yeah. And I've been covering this story.
There are two stories to this. There are two sides to this story.
There are 2 sides. George Zimmerman is saying that he was doing nothing, and that he is the victim, and that
the car pulled up to him and shot.
The car pulled up to him for no reason and shot at him. Yeah. The other guy is saying, well, George Zimmerman in September threatened me. There was a road rage incident. He brandished his gun at me, and guess what? He brandished his gun at me again, and in self-defense, I shot for my life. Sound familiar, right?
Yeah.
But you can't go there. I mean, you don't know.
We don't know. There are 2 sides to the story, but this is not the first brush with the law that George Zimmerman has had. He's had 3 arrests for domestic violence against women and 2 road rage incidents, all involving brandishing a gun. I mean, the facts just don't substantiate, in my mind, that he is just a victim. Things just happen to him. Trouble just follows him. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you have to, yeah.
Be a man and take responsibility for your actions.
Every time he's involved with something, it's never positive. Somebody's shooting at him, he's shooting at somebody. Put him in a cage, lock him up for a while, get him away. He's like a black cat that crosses your path. You're like, get away from me.
And not just any cage. I want George Zimmerman to get in trouble in California so they can put him in a cell with Suge Knight. Let's see how he handles himself in a situation like that. And, you know, and Meredith, I was watching last week, you guys did this story. There's a couple in Florida that had sex on a beach, and they're up for 15 years in prison. He killed an unarmed black boy, and he's out here roaming the streets still acting like it's anarchy. I'm not living in Florida. You can't pay me to move down.
All right, guys.
They got great orange juice, though.
Let's move on. All right, where is the beef? According to recent data, sales of plant-based meat alternatives are soaring, with more and more Americans going for meatless and vegetarian products because they think they're healthier. And a lot of people are very concerned by the way that animals are treated in this country. So, is anyone here, you're a vegetarian, aren't you?
I'm a pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
2 pescatarians.
Yes. So you eat fish.
I eat fish, but no red meat. And that's because, you know, I read a book called The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan, which is just an incredible book. And what he really talks about is how 9 billion animals are slaughtered every year to feed us. And as a people, it's not good for us. The planet can't sustain it. And we can't control what animals, you know, go through, and we can't control what they eat. So what are we really putting into our bodies?
It's scary.
It's scary. We've got to take better care of ourselves. You know, if it has to take faking and fake meat to get people to move away from eating other animals.
I'm all about it. I'm all about the...
You like it.
I love meatless meat, and I know I don't look like the candidates for somebody that likes meatless meat, but I love it. I was vegan for 3 months. I'm more pescatarian. How dare y'all laugh at me? How dare you?
You took the vegan challenge.
Yeah,
more so. 3 times over.
Amazing. I felt healthier. I felt more alive. I think the biggest misconception is that you're going to have meatless meat. It's not going to taste good. But if you get, you know, some of these name brands that are really good and really put the seasoning in it, it's like having meat. It's good. I love it.
It's not like having meat. Listen, they say it's scary. I ain't never scared. Let me tell you. Ain't nothing like my mama's fried chicken. Y'all can eat all that tofu, woo-woo, shoo stuff if you want to. I'm gonna have me filet mignon, some fried chicken, and a lamb chop.
All right. Do not go anywhere. We have much more right after this.